This is stuff for that.
We are live!
Hi guys! So excited that you're here. I hope that you were able to find all the groceries okay, and I hope that we are going to have a great time, and I am looking for suggestions on how to make this easier, better, faster for all of us. You are going to have an amazing week because we are going to make some yummy food today, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's going to be so awesome. So, hopefully everybody found everything. The very first thing that you need to do is get your chicken into the Instant Pot. So everybody get out an Instant Pot and let's get that going. I was starting to get organized with our veggies here. No, Pam did the shopping for this cooking. So she got some kale and carrots, and we have our peppers for our enchiladas and cilantro. So yummy. We're gonna just go one by one. First thing we're doing though is chicken. And the reason why this is gonna be a really fast and easy meal prep is because we're doing all the chicken together. And we are going to have it cooked, and then we're going to separate it into the different flavor profiles for our different dishes. So that means you're not having to cook 3 different meat dishes and going from there. Does anybody have any questions as we're going? Do we have a way of answering questions, Pam? People talking?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yes, and everybody say hi to Pam, who's going to be helping me with
doing
the
camera.
She's the camera lady. So we're excited to make this.
Hi.
Thing. Oh, good job. That works. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, I feel like we should maybe spend a little time with letting people get online. Hopefully everybody's relaxed. This is going to be fun. And I want all of you to ask questions as they come along. Don't be afraid. There's no stupid questions. Instant Pots are a little bit confusing sometimes, and they go through trouble. I've had instances where I've had to restart mine several times or do things. I'm pretty good at troubleshooting. There's several different issues that they can have, so feel free to reach out. We're all here to help, and I know that you guys have experiences that I don't have, and we can make this all work and go from there. So let's start with our chicken. I'm going to use our medium-sized Instant Pot today. It's going to fit, I believe we have 9 chicken breasts, kind of 3 for each. Pam's doing a little bit more food, and because I get to eat some. That's my favorite. Yay! So, we'll get our thing plugged in here.
If you're on, send us a little emoji so we know you're there. We have Linda's here. So let's just hear from everybody.
Hi, Linda.
Little smiley face, let us know you're here.
And also let us know if there's any augmentations. I know there were some people that were wanting to not have it with meat, and I can make suggestions as we go along for that. So if you weren't doing meat, any of the stuff, you could cook a big pot of quinoa, and again, in the Instant Pot, which will actually be faster than chicken. And then we can add our spice profile from each of these things to it. You can add beans, you can add just shredded up vegetables to make your enchiladas, beans and corn and cheese. We even got, this is the vegan cheese,
Yeah,
right?
vegan cheese. I've never tried it. Some people said they liked other different kinds.
There you go. So you can use that if you're going vegan. For our chicken soup, it's easy. You leave out the chicken and you leave out the bone broth. You use a vegetable broth. And then for our barbecue slaw, you would leave out, obviously, the chicken. And we can add more stuff to the slaw. But we've got almonds and we've got cranberries. And I don't know what else we could add with that.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
She gets excited when she's in the kitchen.
This is going to be so much fun. And I never have people join me in the kitchen. So now I'm excited to have all kinds of people with me. I don't want to do this alone. I want you to do this with me. So be asking questions, be interacting, and we're going to get really good at this. And so again, if you have pointers, if you'd like to see something, if you'd like to me to answer questions, please let me know because we want to make this work for you guys. So.
And Leah just joined us. Hi, Leah.
Hi, Leah.
We've been chatting on instant messaging. She's so excited to
Cool.
be here and excited to learn to cook and what to do.
There you go. So the first thing you guys need to do, actually, before we even do the chicken, is get our vegetables washed up, because that way they're out of the way of the sink, and then we can handle any meats we need to. So probably in the future, I will suggest that we have all our vegetables washed before we even get on the show. But we were doing a whole bunch of other stuff today for this, so I don't even have my vegetables washed. What do I need to do? All of these, carrots, and apples. And pretty soon I might have volunteers on the show who will help me do this stuff, maybe. Huh, Pam?
Yeah, if I didn't have to hold the camera, I could help you.
See how this works. How many carrots would you like in the soup?
Oh, I like lots of veggies in mine.
Veggies.
So.
All right. So I'm going to plan on doing about 6 soups for Pam, and I'm going to do probably about a carrot each. That's a smaller one, because the more veggies, the better. And Pam was able to find half of a red cabbage and got a whole of the green. Is that because I'm making more coleslaw, or am I putting some of that cabbage into your soup?
Yeah.
Yes.
They had a half of purple already cut, and I couldn't find anybody to cut the green,
one?
so I got a whole.
Sometimes they'll do it. Sometimes they grumble. Who cares? Let them grumble. It's their job. I love you guys.
Whoops, sorry.
all my fruit and veggie people that I see daily, you know I love you. So we're gonna get some of this washed up.
I want to get a few extra jobs. Hi, Molly. We have Celia Whitaker here today. She is from Studio C Photography. We should get her on camera. Yay!
Say hi, Celia! Hi! Yay!
She's our photographer. She's done all of our headshots today and some shots in the kitchen and shots of us having fun outside, and you'll see those on our website.
All right. Here we go. Instant Pot. Put a little splash of water in there, like a quarter of a cup. And we're just going to start opening the chicken. The chicken you want to have cut into thirds so that it will cook and shred easily. If it's big long pieces, sometimes it doesn't shred quite as well. So we'll get this done. And I mentioned before, the best tool you can have in the kitchen is a sharp knife. It's so important, and it makes life easier. We want things to be efficient. We want things to be easy in the kitchen. You can deal with other issues, but having a dull knife shouldn't be one of your frustrations. So you can get them sharpened at the Saturday markets. I know Oregon City Saturday Market has a guy that comes regularly. I get mine sharpened about once a year, and then I sharpen them probably once a week on my own. So if you don't have the ability to do that, you'll probably want to get yours sharpened twice a year. And then, of course, that depends on how much you use them, because I use mine a lot. But sharp knives are very important. So, any questions so far?
Not yet.
Anyone? Okay. This is good chicken. I hope everybody found everything okay. And I just like to trim off extra stuff. My mother used to make fun of me because when I was little, I would not touch chicken breast raw. It was not going to happen to save my life. And then one day she came to Italy, which is where I really learned to love to cook. And I was handling chicken breasts, and she almost fell over. Like, what? You do that now? It's like, yeah, they are kind of slimy. I know some people like to put on gloves, but they're good. And I've read controversy back and forth about whether or not you should wash and rinse them and pat them dry. Some people say to do that, and other people say not to because it leaves stuff in the sink that then could later contaminate something else if you don't clean your sink well. So it's kind of a preference, and it's how you feel, and you need to be comfortable with the food you're eating. So if it makes you feel better, then I say go for it.
We have a request that you slow down. Take a breath. Whoosh!
Okay. That's exciting, guys. And yes, I work fast.
She never has anybody in the kitchen with her, so she's...
I want to keep talking. Okay, so I'm trimming breasts. Everybody can be doing that. You can also use chicken thighs to do this. We could also have used pork because these three recipes will do very well with pork. So, is everybody with me? Does everybody have their Instapot out? And we're on the chicken part. Cutting, trimming. And the cool thing about if you will touch your chicken breasts, you can find bones that are stuck in them. And what else? Take out this stuff. See, that one's tough. Gonna have a nice full thing.
Leah, did you get your Instapot yet?
Oh.
It was supposed to be coming sometime today.
Oh. Did it come on time?
I don't know.
Who's joining us? I know I have a friend that was going to join us from England, possibly.
Okay, question. How much time will it add to the recipe to double the meat? It's fresh meat.
I would say no extra time. The Instapot is well, let me think about that for a second. So what it will do is increase the time that it takes to heat up. So the Instant Pot, the way it measures time, if I put it for 35 minutes, it will cook any amount. What will take longer, it will still do the cooking process for 35 minutes. What will take longer is the heat up process, and I don't have an answer on that. I would say maybe 5 to 10 minutes if you doubled what we have today. What I'm having here, the Instant Pot is about half full, and I did 9 breasts. So this should make about 6 servings of each menu item, maybe a little bit more. And if you were to double this, it would probably add 10 minutes is going to be my guess. Does that help?
Does that help, Leah? And Amy says hi.
Hi!
And Stephanie Arbach is watching. Hi, Stephanie. We miss you. All right.
Okay.
So hopefully everybody's got their meat washed or cut up, and
I think I'm going to add a little salt and pepper, just because. And we have found that real salt is the best one. It has the best balance of minerals, and it's been suggested to us by one of our highly recommended doctors that we speak with, and he says that this is a really good one for balancing all the minerals that we need in our diet. So I'm going to put about a teaspoon of that in, and then I'm going to put some cracked pepper. That's yummy. And then I'm going to stir it. Actually, what I find works best, what did I do? And what we'll be using later as well is nice tongs that aren't dirty. Okay. These work well for stirring because you can kind of stir, pinch, and turn at the same time. Now remember, you have a little bit of water in there, so there's some liquid. you need the liquid in there in order to get the steam to start and seal the Instant Pot. So we'll make sure we wash that before we use it again, because when this comes out, it will be all cooked. So maybe we should time how long this takes to come up to temperature and start cooking.
Okay.
So I'm going to put it on poultry, and it comes automatically at 15 minutes. I'm just going to add time to it. It needs to be 35 minutes. Okay? And it will go automatically, so you don't have to do anything from there if you have the Instant Pot. If there's other brands, I'm not entirely sure. I believe this one starts automatically as well. Is that correct?
Yes, it does.
So right now, it's saying on, which it will say that until it's come up to the right temperature, and it will then seal. You'll hear it going. Make sure, Pam, bring the camera here. Make sure that your dial in the back is pushed to not venting. Very important. Okay?
And I'm gonna make you all sick.
There you going around. So you want this pushed back. So when this finally seals is when the time will start counting down here. And we're looking at now 4:17 on the oven clock. So let's see how long it takes to get to 35 minutes.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Okay.
Esther just came on. Hi, Esther.
Okay, I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to get caught up and to make sure that they've got their Instapots going. Answer any questions you might have. Get my picture taken. And go from there. And you'll see I have my 3 different sizes because sometimes the little ones, great for stuff. I love doing rice and quinoa in the little one. And then we have our monster one, which is great for doing lentil chili.
Do we have any vegans, vegetarians on here? I know Amy talked a little bit about in the beginning. But does anybody want any vegan veggie tips now that we have more people on? If so, post that below.
Yeah. And thank you for whoever said slow down, because you're right, I need to breathe. So, in that, I'm going to get some water. Take a drink of water. Relax a minute. Cooking should be fun. We have our veggies washed. This, I'm going to use a canned enchilada sauce because this is about meal prepping and making things fast, and sometimes that's just okay. I would love to have the time and energy to make everything from scratch, and I do that on several occasions, but when you're dealing with a week, don't beat yourself up if you just need to get something done, and food half done if you're using a canned sauce and the rest of it's from scratch is awesome.
Okay, so we're having a question. How need to wash the veggies, which ones? If you're in like this, these are all pre-washed if you got these. The cabbage is so tightly meshed, but you definitely want to rinse the outside of
I always tear off the top.
Yeah, tear off the top.
Then you're really sure nobody's touched it.
It's really wilted and ugly anyway. This stuff, I got some basil. It's pre-washed. Carrots, if you're going to peel those, you'll obviously rinse those off when you're done.
If you're going to shred them.
And then kale, you want to wash that really good.
So I washed all our veggies.
So all the veggies have been washed. If you have the recipe, hopefully you got the recipe. If you did not get the recipe, you do have to put your email in and sign up for that. If you got the recipe is for 4 servings. So if you're doubling that, just double everything 1.5 times. She's doing a 1.5 time for me, so we're doing 6 servings. Does that answer your question about how much and what to wash? We have Shay has joined us.
Hi, Shay.
And Kathleen, Kathy.
Hi. And you got cilantro here, but even better would be if we could get our microgreen cilantro next time. Guys, if you're in Oregon City, everyone should be getting orders of microgreens from my friend that's Chef's Choice Microgreens, because they are fabulous. And they're a great way to add some greens to any kind of dish that you're making quick. It's really hard sometimes to have washed lettuce and things like that, and these guys, is super powerhouse of greens that you can put together. Easy stuff. So, I'm just gonna take some of these out while we're going. Any other questions?
No, not yet.
Does everybody have their chicken into the Instant Pot?
Give us a thumbs up if you have your chicken in the Instapot.
And does anybody need a tip on if you don't have an Instant Pot right now?
We got a thumbs up.
All right. It's all good. If you don't have an Instant Pot, I would suggest, what would I suggest?
Baking it?
Yeah, I would probably bake it. So let me show of hands if anybody needs that instruction. How would you, what do we need that?
Okay.
We're good?
I think we're good.
All right, I'm just peeling some of the cilantro. Cilantro keeps really well if you are selective about which leaves you're putting in here. You don't want the ones that are crunched up, and it'll keep for 3 or 4 days as long as you haven't chopped it. So you can be adding it to your dishes as you eat them.
Shay said you look adorable in your hat.
Thanks. They made me wear it.
she's at work. She'll catch the replay later.
There we go. Maybe we should hold some sort of I don't know. Could we do a drawing or something for doing one of these classes in somebody else's kitchen that's in the area, so that I would come and cook the food that they bought the groceries for? That might be fun.
Yeah, that might be fun.
And you don't have to be worried about your kitchen, but I would come cook with you. There we go.
We could do it live.
We could do it live. And then...
Maybe when I'm on vacation and don't need food.
Somebody just got territorial.
I've been having Amy cook for me for a year, so I'm really spoiled.
Yeah, and we get back from Mexico, where I went with her. Normally when she gets back from vacation, I've cooked for her, so when she comes home, her refrigerator is full of food. And this time, I was with her, so she got home, and she had no food, and I left for the weekend. So she's like,
I actually had to cook myself. It was... My husband actually took me to dinner once because I had nothing in the house.
Yes.
How much cilantro are you using? So there's no cilantro in the recipe. I just add it to a little bit on top, fresh, when I eat my enchiladas. So,
so what I would do is I'm just kind of burning some time here. I'm just de-stemming it, and it will keep. Put a little container with a towel. Oh, that one's all dirty. With a towel, a wet paper towel in there, and it will keep for several days, maybe even a week, depending on how bruised it is. You want to be selective. Like, don't be afraid to throw some of the leaves out. It's better to have the good ones and keep them, and they'll last longer if there's no wilted ones inside of there. So, this is good. Am I going slow? I'm starting to breathe normal again. This is also really good on the coleslaw. Cilantro, if you can throw cilantro in anything, I love cilantro in a scramble in the mornings. And these kinds of greens, if you can throw these things into anything you're eating. I know some people even put them in their shakes. If you like a green shake, cilantro is yummy. So
Esther loves luncher. Leah, I sent you the recipes personally from my email. Check your junk mail because I know I sent them to you.
And the recipes,
Because that's kind of impossible to cook without those right now.
If the recipes are also, however, written out as if you were doing only one. So what I'm showing you today is how to do all three at the same time. But I didn't want to write the recipes that way in case you wanted to do just one. But normally you would maybe add a little barbecue sauce to the Instant Pot if you were doing just the cold thing. Or you would add some enchilada sauce to the Instant Pot with the chicken. And or Italian seasoning. Like if you're only doing one kind, then it's easy. That's what you do. But for meal prepping, for doing a whole bunch, then it's good to do that. So I've got that. I think what I'd also like to do to get things drying well is devein this kale. So shake it off best you can. You're going to open this, pull one side and the next side. If you do half and half like that, they should come off pretty easy. And you want these things to dry, although these are going in a soup. And you also have to decide when they're going in the soup. If you don't like, be careful which way you put it. If you want stuff to stay crunchy when you have soup, then you want to keep it separate from the broth until you're ready to eat it. Like a lot of my clients don't like soggy kale, so I cut it nice and fine, and then I put it into a container, and they add it to the soup right before they eat it. That helps keep things crunchy. I even have a client that all the vegetables, carrots, cabbage, and cauliflower, I keep raw so that she can add them to the soup after she's heated it up. But she loves the crunch.
Okay, Leah, I sent you the recipes again. If you don't get those, check your spam again because I have them sent both times. They're on a link at the bottom that's a green square, and you click on those and they're PDFs.
Does Leah did she do the shopping list? Is she cooking with us?
She got the shopping list.
As we go?
Yeah, I think she is.
Okay. Does everybody have their chicken in? We had thumbs up,
Yeah,
right?
we had thumbs up for the
All
chicken
right.
in.
So, prepping of veggies. This is just going to dry. We want things to dry. And then we can start working on fixing the spices. Did you notice at what point this went to time? Well, it's only 2 minutes
2
in.
minutes. And it was 4:17.
4:17, so
4:27, so 10 minutes.
So I really believe that if you had more chicken in there, it might take 5 to 10 extra minutes, but it just depends. And that's the beauty of the Instant Pot, because it cooks everything starting once it's come up to a certain heat. So you can kind of get an even cook through the whole thing. That's the point of it. And it works very well. And you can hear it bubbling. If you hear pressure, air coming out of your Instant Pot after this started counting down, there's something wrong and we need to restart it. So I would press cancel, and you open up the steam and get it all out because it's not sealing well. And sometimes that can be a product of the inner ring not being set right back in there. It can also be the inner ring has a crack in it. I've had mine now for 3 years, and I haven't had to replace it. I thought I was having problems at one point, and I did buy extra rings, and then figured out that I was using it and then using it again right in a row, and it was so, I don't know if it wasn't shrunk, it was so expanded that it wasn't sealing well. So now if you're going to stop this and redo another thing right after you do the chicken, you want to cool it off with cold water so that it shrinks back up, and seals better. So another issue that I'm finding with some Instant Pots is this thing here, which can come off, doesn't get sat in there correctly. So you need to make sure that that's right. And then it's always twisted back when you start. Here's the inner ring that I was talking about. So that can come in and come out, which doesn't work all that great if it's not set well. So make sure that's in well. Another piece that can come out that gets confusing is this, which goes over the ceiling that's this. So this doesn't have to be set any particular way, but I find sometimes it's unsnapped, and you don't want that in your food. That's the only problem with that one. And I know the newer Instant Pots, I think that both, there's your pin right there. It comes up and down. This is actually covered with one big piece on there. So I don't know if they've changed the design, but a client of mine, her newer model has both of those covered. So then I guess this doesn't get hurt or something. So I really like the Instant Pot brand. I have 2, 3, 4 of them. But I know there's a lot of other brands out there, so don't feel like you have to have the Instant Pot if you don't already have. If you have something else, I'm sure it will work just great. Alrighty, so this is going well. We've got some veggies. Let's work on the coleslaw. Does everybody have a mandolin? That's this lovely thing. I like this one because of the V. It cuts very well. However, it's very, very sharp and dangerous.
Where's the glove?
And the glove, you want to have a glove. So, who doesn't have a mandolin? Do we need to show some knife skills? Celia went, me! So you can do this without a mandolin. That's why having the shredded carrot is a good idea. Am I using all of this?
Probably not. My husband's out of town, so it's just me and you eating this week.
We just need 6. So I might end up using some of these for the soup just because that way we're using them up. And these will go bad faster than the whole carrots. So whole carrots will keep for a couple weeks. If you need to buy a big bag of them, it's easy because you will be using them the next couple of weeks. Easy enough. So I'm going to put about, if you're only doing 4 servings, just do half a bag. I'm going to do about 2/3 of the bag. So I've got my carrots. And then I'm going to do the apples, which is a little one. And I'm going to lead by example and put a glove on. I usually don't, but. My very first mandolin, my husband at the time threw it away because I cut myself so many times. So I had to go and get another one. Yeah,
steam's coming out.
I know. It's bouncing. I guess it started before. I don't know what it's doing. See, even mine can have problems. Let's see what it's doing. It's trying to seal. I think it'll go. Let's give it a minute. I always thought it came up to pressure. Maybe it comes up to temperature and then it comes up to pressure. Unfortunately, I use these things sometimes and don't pay entirely attention to the process. So, it's going. Doesn't seem stuck. Oh, there it is.
Just needed a little nudge.
Just needed a nudge. Sometimes they get kind of gummy. When you seal them very well. This doesn't want to close now. So, at 27 minutes, it's sealed. Make sure everybody's is sealed. It smells good.
Hi, Marcy.
Okay, everybody ready with their mandolin? You want the small serrated edge. If you have this brand, it's the Borner. I really like it. It's Swiss made and you can get it on Amazon. So the apples, don't cut them yet. I mean, don't cut them at all. They have a better grip if you leave them whole like this. And I just go slice down like that. there you go. And it matches your carrots. And then I like to do them in a big bowl, but for showing, I'm just going to do here. Okay, get that out of the way. So you turn it, slice it down to the core, turn it again. This way you always have something to hang on to. There are certain recipes where you have to cut them because you want shorter pieces, and then you just have a little bit, what I call the handle to munch on when you're done. Okay?
I've never done those. I didn't get even of those.
Oh, these are the coolest things ever. Wait until we do the cabbage. Like, this makes, again, having the right tools that makes things fast and easy makes all the difference in the world for cooking. It's all about having the right tools.
Mother's Day is coming up.
Mother's Day is coming up. Good request. Sometimes this stem gets in the way, so I'll twist it off because you don't want to get it stuck down in the mandolin. That'll just pull your fingers right into it, and we don't want that. But you should all be wearing a glove. And I'm trying to set a good example. Having a glove on. So we'll throw that into there. Now, some people really like to have mayonnaise set on their coleslaw in their refrigerator, and some people like to add it later. This shredded veggies, the apples and the carrots and the cabbage, will keep at least a week, sometimes 2, depending on how often you've gotten into the package. It's a really great thing. The thing that goes bad fast is the apples. So sometimes with clients, if I know they need it in 2 weeks, they're going camping or on vacation or something, I will actually just keep the apples separate and just do the carrots and cabbage, and that'll keep a long time. So you want a balance of apples and carrots, about even. So you'll see here, that looks pretty good. It's about half and half. So I'm not going to do this 4th apple. How's everybody doing so far?
Give us some thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Did everybody get mayonnaise? And
I don't think that was on the list.
Who wants to learn? It was on the. It's on the
The
list.
shopping list?
I didn't have time, or I don't think I'm going to have time, to teach people how to make mayonnaise, and I also didn't put the ingredients for it. But we will do a little short class, maybe just a video that you can watch anytime. We'll load it up there for you to make homemade mayonnaise, which is really easy. It's just about finding the right tools, having the process down, and you can do it in just a matter of minutes if you have everything set up and you just know the system well. So I used to be afraid of making mayonnaise because it seemed very laborious, but I set up a system and now I can do it in a matter of minutes. So next, with this mandolin, you want to make sure that you rinse the blades as soon as you are finished using them, because that way they don't get gummy and sticky, and they're really hard to wash. I mean, you can use a brush to scrub, but you're also then cutting the blades of your brush or the bristles, so it gets hard. So I'm going to rinse this off over here. And voila. Now I'm going to put the flat edge in, and I want it on the very smallest, finest piece. Some people, if you like your coleslaw a little chunkier, you might even want to use this larger blade. If I can get it out.
Do you want me to wash this?
No. Okay. Your blade is stuck. There we go. So this, if you want chunkier coleslaw, or we'll use this really thin piece of the flat one otherwise. So, where did my big knife go? It's here. I'm going to wash this really quick. Take my glove off.
If they're using a food processor, what disc would you recommend?
apples or the cabbage? Is it for all of them?
All three.
I would use, is it a KitchenAid? Or is it the Cuisinart?
Hi, Shannon. Leah, is your food processor a Cuisinart or a KitchenAid? KitchenAid.
KitchenAid. Okay, so it's the round ones. So if there's, is it the one with, that's Cecilia. Is it one with the adjustable, what am I thinking? So like this is adjustable for how wide you are. She just ran that way with your phone. If it's the adjustable one, I would put it on the straight edge and then I would adjust it to like the medium size. Does that make sense?
I can shred carrots.
Okay, carrots go on the, I would put them on the large shred. And the apples on the large shred. And then the cabbage you'll want to do either by hand or you'll want to do on the straight edge of the disc. And if you have the one that's adjustable, you want to go to medium. If you don't, you want probably the smallest one. I know there's a large, which I think is like this. And then there's a small. Let me think.
She can do the cabbage on the straight, she said. It's not adjustable.
Perfect. Okay, so the cabbage on the straight and then the other one's on the shred, and you should be fine. That kind of cutting, it's not going to last as long in the refrigerator. No, come give me a hug. We're okay. Come on, come back in here. Thank you, Celia. Next time you join us.
Okay.
Okay.
I did partly.
Yes, you did.
Can't
Bye,
wait
dear.
to see her pictures.
Okay.
Shannon said you are looking hot, girl.
Okay, so we have cabbage, and you see I peel the top layer, and this one's all gummy. We don't want the gummy. And don't be afraid, again, to be what might be considered a little wasteful in order to preserve the whole rest of the head. Because if you put gummy in there that's starting to wilt, it makes the rest wilt. So, don't be afraid. It's like this, gummy. Gummy. And these ones, sometimes you get a good one. Sometimes you got one that just doesn't want to do its thing. So, this is good. We're going to get rid of all of this. Now you know that it's clean. Nobody's touched this inside. We are going to trim this one up. So I'll start with the thing. Sharp knife, very important. You want to trim off this place that was exposed. Like that. Do not cut the core out. Leave the core. That's what's holding the whole thing together and makes it you able to shred it. Okay? Leah, if you're putting it into your KitchenAid, you don't have to do that. You have to take the core off, actually. So, then I take this. Oh, let's show it on here. Let's see how that goes. And you're just doing this. This is a good arm workout.
Shannon said coronavirus-free cabbage. Yes, of course.
Of course. We sanitized everything with a good prayer before we brought it into the house. And yes, this takes a while, and it's totally worth it. So just keep turning it until you get down to the core. Pull off the gummy ones, and keep going. And I love, you can do one kind of cabbage, or you can do the two. I just love the colors of the two. Remember, I'm the color person, so I love having colors on my plate. And the more diverse colors you have, the better it is for your whole body. So, I get it down as close as you want without it getting too crazy. So we'll throw that into there.
Hi, Diane. Our buddy Diane's here. So Shannon, you just came on, but we talked about vegan options in the beginning. So,
Shannon, what would you put with a cabbage coleslaw? Like, how would you add a protein to that? This is apples and carrots and cabbage. I've got almonds, cranberries. Then it's going to have a mayonnaise-based dressing. I make mine from scratch, but it's got eggs in it. I haven't found a good vegan recipe for that yet. my clients have found a good vegan mayonnaise they like, and so I haven't had to come up with one. And then I just add apple cider vinegar or white wine vinegar and coconut sugar or monk fruit to make the dressing. And my vegan client actually likes a little barbecue sauce on there as well, even though he doesn't eat the barbecue chicken that goes with it. So I don't know what I would put.
She does vegan apple sausage.
Oh, perfect. That would be a great compliment to that. Is there a brand that you like?
Also for the soup, you just leave out the meat and you can add more veggies.
And have vegetable broth. And beans, I think, would be a good protein. But if she found a vegan...
Hellman's now has a vegan mayo that is to die for.
Cool. Hellman's. Is Hellman's a brand or is that a grocery store?
That's a brand.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we have the enchiladas. So my suggestion for the enchiladas is you could do a quinoa bean mix with the peppers and veggies and just put those with the enchilada sauce. Shannon can teach us all the vegan tricks we want to know.
Woo! Come be on our show. No, we'll come to you and cook in your kitchen.
Yeah, flights are really cheap right now. We could probably get to New York pretty quick.
I bet.
Mexican is easy being vegan.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of beans.
Beans stuff. All right, so we did the red. So now I'm going to go into this whole head of green, and you want to keep a piece of core, if you're doing it on the mandolin, in each piece, and you're going to quarter it. So I usually kind of start from here, and away you go. And you don't have to slice the inside because it's fresh. Do you want, let's see, some of this we're going to save. These will keep for a month if you package them right and don't drop them on the floor.
Because my dog's not here today.
We'll watch that later. Rolls right off. All right. Good thing we only needed 2 of them right now. Sorry, PM. And I never do that when I'm at another client's house.
Yeah, and you're never on camera at somebody else's
never
house.
on camera. So I think. I always wonder.
You might have a nanny cam on
If I have a nanny cam on me in the kitchen. Then they'll see me rocking out to my music and laughing and going, oh my goodness. Or, ooh, that's so good. And again, good arm workout. Really, there's no reason to go to the gym if you cook in the kitchen all the time. You can quote me on that.
That's our movement.
That's our movement. All right, we've got just 13 minutes left on our chicken. That's good. And we've got our cabbage salad almost done. So, mayonnaise. Does everybody have mayonnaise so that we're going to be able to make the dressing? And does everybody want to know how to make my mayonnaise? We'll do that.
Shannon wants to know how to store veggies because she has a juicer and being vegan, she can't seem to make her fridge space work.
I would get, you have the drawers, just like the drawers that you have in the refrigerator, you need more kind of bins like that. So even going to the Container Store and stacking bins on your shelves in your refrigerator would be a good idea. And you could have, if you had them shredded, but if it's for juicing, you don't have to have them shredded, but you do have to have them washed. So you could have them all washed, and some vegetables do better when they're open and some do better when they're closed. But then you could have on each shelf bins for different things like greens, onions, celeries, herbs. What have you got there?
This is actually made by Tupperware. It's called a Fridge Smart, but it has the little vents here.
Cool.
So, and then it's got a lid, but it's got
the thing so it's not sitting flat on something. That's kind of cool. And it has a lid that goes on it. So this or a bigger version of something like that, I bet you could wash your vegetables like herbs. I see herbs being done well in this. And then sealing it and having it vented just a little bit. And then you could just pull out all your different herbs and different things that are washed. Maybe a bigger one for spinaches and kales and stuff like that. Does that answer your question, Shannon?
This is a good idea. And Marilee just joined us. Hello, Marilee.
Hello and welcome.
If you're just joining us and you haven't started your chicken yet, it's not too late. You can get it started right now and then cook the rest of the hour with us. Or if you're going to watch this later when you are cooking, that works too.
There we go. All right, we're done shredding. So I'm going to rinse this blade right away so that nothing is sticking to it. Take my glove off. All right, that's done. So I like to use really big bowls and containers. So you're not fighting with pulling, doing something in a small bowl and it going over the edges, and because I'm really messy when that happens anyways. So doing this and using your hands, it gets you into there. Of course, they're washed, and feel your food. It's fun, and you can feel if things are clumped together this way. Carrots.
And that's a lot of cabbage, so anybody in town come over for lunch this week.
No. This is about 6 servings. You'd be surprised when you put stuff on it and it starts to break down a little bit. This is only about 6 servings. It might look like a lot, but a good. And remember, now, as we move forward, we're trying to think about what vegetables we want to eat and then adding the protein to it. Because we should be eating the largest portion of vegetables. So vegetable forward food, so that we're getting more in our diet. So this is good. I usually put 8 to 10 ounces of this. And once you put dressing on it, it breaks down quite a bit. And then I put 3 ounces of chicken if it's a lunch for a lady, 4 to 4.5 if it's for a guy who's working out. It all depends on what balance you need and what you're doing activity-wise in your life. But you don't need as much as people think. If you're enjoying your food, if you have made your food and you really process that what you're doing is good for you and you're happy and you come to the table and you're paying attention, you won't eat as much. So it's good stuff.
Shauna just joined us.
Shauna
Linglear.
Hi, Shauna. That's my cousin.
And Diane says your hat is cute. Where's your cute red what? She didn't finish her comment.
Red.
Her red outfit? We're not in Mexico anymore.
Yeah, the sun. Where's the hot weather? When it's 80 degrees, I'll wear my red outfit. Get stuff off the floor. Okay, so we have cabbage. That's done. You can put this into individual servings. You can add the dressing to it. We are going to take the recipe for the dressing is 1 cup of mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of coconut sugar or monk fruit. Monk fruit is the new sweetener that we're discovering that has a no glycemic index. So if you're wanting to avoid that, then it's a good idea to have monk fruit in there. And it sweetens just as good. I like the coconut sugar because it's kind of caramely tasting. Here's the monk fruit, and there's the coconut. So that's good. Whoops! It's open. 1 cup of mayonnaise, will go on your 4 servings of coleslaw if that's what you did. So that should work. And if you need to make more, make more. It's also good on other stuff. So we've got that. Chicken still has 6 minutes plus cool down. You should have cranberries and almonds to add to your salads. And yeah, let's move on to the next thing. So there's 2 ways we can do the soup. If we want to do individual containers, and if you want to have crunchy vegetables when you actually eat it, then I take these containers like this. I put 3.5 to 4 ounces of chicken in the bottom, and I then put this in there with probably half a teaspoon of this in each glass jar. And then if you want to throw your vegetables in on top of that, you can. And then you're just dumping the whole thing into a saucepan and heating it up, or in a microwave if that's what you need to do. And you've got chicken soup. Really, really basic, simple, easy to do. That's a great lunch if you like warm lunches. If you're going to do it on the stovetop, then we will put the broth in, add the seasoning, add some veggies. You can caramelize the onion and the carrots all the way that we know how to make soup. That makes it easy. And then adding crunchy vegetables or not, as you wish. Pam, how would you like me to make your soup?
Like you always do it, with chicken at the bottom and the soup and the
stuff on top.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it the easy peasy way.
But you can do like 2 ounces of chicken.
Just 2, that's right. You're going a little bit less. So I'm going to put these there because we're not quite ready with the cooking yet. What we can do though is have all the veggies ready, and I could even, well, I'll do that in a minute. So onion, cut the end off of each one. Any questions so far on the coleslaw or anything like that? Am I moving too fast?
Shannon also said Field Roast is the best vegan sausage brand.
Oh, cool. Thank you for that.
So it's made with veggies and greens.
Nice.
And cooks and chews like sausage. Shannon, have you ever tried... What's the one we were
Beyond Meat?
Beyond Meats.
There you go. Guys, if you want to get your onions out, I like to do all the onion at once because then you're not crying. Get them all peeled. I'm going to do 1 in the soups, and I'm going to do 1, maybe... because these are pretty small. I'm gonna do 2 in the enchiladas. Cut the ends off, cut them in half, peel.
Yes, she likes Beyond Meats.
Cool. I've heard great things about them.
Diane, we're gonna do a video just on homemade mayonnaise. And we're going to post that in our group.
Yes. Because I don't think we'll have time, and I didn't give you guys the ingredients list for that. So.
Shannon wants to know if you're going to make homemade veggie stock with all the scraps.
I hadn't planned on it, but that is a great idea. Is that what she does? And do you use, like, probably that could be used. But I don't have, what else did we have? We had some cabbage.
Wilted cabbage.
We had some wilted cabbage, yeah. Go in there. Now, one thing that I like, because I like color, is to have colorful bowls. So, here's my enchilada onions. That's a lot. We're going to make a whole pan. Today, we're going to make easy enchiladas. So, not only am I using canned sauce, but I am going to make it a layered instead of a wrap. Make it super easy. And these onions are sharp. My eyes are tingling. If your eyes start tingling, step away for a minute and use a towel. And I do this. To get the juices away from your eyes.
That's scientifically proven.
No. When I was in Italy, there was this really cool shop, and she at one point had these goggles that were like super cool looking, but they were so to make sure girls don't cry or something like that. It was really cute. And I always thought to get something like that, but you know, you can only have so many tools in the kitchen. Sometimes you have to be picky and choosy.
We're making Shannon hungry.
Oh, I wish I could feed you all. When you come on my retreats, then I get to feed you all, right?
Yeah, Diane just got to experience that.
Yep. So our chicken is done cooking, but now it needs to rest and it needs to come down naturally. You can open it up quickly, but I find letting it go naturally just finishes the cooking process. It makes it super good because we're going to want it to just melt when we squeeze it with our little pinchers. So I've got enough onions for the enchiladas. I'm going to cut just one. I probably ended up with more onion than I needed because that looks like a lot. Sometimes my eyes are bigger. My brain is bigger than my eyes. I don't know how you would say that. All right, so I'm going to get another colorful bowl. Here is for the chicken soup.
And I do like the onions cooked more in the chicken soup. So.
Do you? Yeah. Do you want me to saute them?
Yeah.
Okay. I could do that.
Hi, Tiffany. Now my cousin's on.
Hi, Tiffany. All right, you know what I'm going to use to saute that? It's super easy. Is an Instapot.
Good night, Shannon. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Shannon.
She has to go to bed.
Yeah.
She's in New York, so it's a little later.
All right. So
we'll see you tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
She's sending us loves.
Aw, that's nice. I just spilled my water, just so you know. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so sauteing, since Pam would like to have her onions sauteed, I'm going to use this little Instant Pot. Make it super easy and fast. And because it's set up right here rather than having to go to the stove, and I'm not going to use those. And I had an accident. I spilled my water. Such is life. So let me clean that up real quick. There we go. Dun, dun,
We have
dun.
another gal that joined us. Pia?
Yeah, hi Pia. I think that's my cousin. Or my mom's cousin.
I'm glad you joined us, Tiffany. She said it's fun. Hey, are you cooking with us or are you just watching? If you're just joining us, you're a little behind, but you can catch up.
Catch up. We've got chicken.
Get your chicken started, wash your veggies, and start chopping all the veggies.
And I'm gonna get some avocado oil to saute up our onions. Did you have it in here?
Higher, I think.
There it is. Perfect. It smells good over here. All right, so to saute some onions, I'm going to use this avocado oil. It's an avocado and coconut blend. And if you're in Oregon City, this can be found at the grocery outlet. I don't know if there's grocery outlets. I know there's more elsewhere. I don't know what they carry. So this can be found at the one here in Oregon City. So you want to turn this on to saute. And don't worry about that timing. Put a little oil in there. You could do the whole broth. You could do the whole, the whole soup in the Instant Pot without even putting it onto Instant Pot or to, onto Instant Pot. On to pressure cook. You can just use the saute function and then you can bring that to a boil. It's really kind of fun to have soups. If you don't want to touch your stove for the night or whatever, then you can just use Instapots. We'll see. I want that to get hot first. We'll put it in here. We're kind of losing the sunlight. Am I dark? We're good?
Good.
All right. How oniony do you want it?
Not too oniony.
All right. We're just going to do half. I overcut the onion, but that's okay. We can save that for next week. Next week, we're making stuff with ground meat. So we're going to make a lasagna, right? It's on our list. I forget what else was on our list. I think a taco salad and maybe a stroganoff. Pilgrim stroganoff. So instead of with steak, you use ground meat in that. So stay tuned for the recipe on that. And hopefully they'll be going out on Wednesday. Good stuff.
They will be.
All right. That will be for later.
If you didn't get the recipes, be sure to sign up. Maybe I'll do a link in this video right now.
All right. So we're going to do... Did you want to have any celery in your soup?
You know what? I did, but I forgot to buy celery.
That's okay.
I had it on my list, but sometimes the organic celery doesn't look very good.
You're right. And that, just because it's organic doesn't mean that it's good for you. So, do you want me to use some of this shredded carrots in yours?
Sure.
Thing? And do you want some of the carrots cooked or do you want them to be raw?
They can be a little cooked.
Okay, so we're going to cook a little bit of that. I'm only going to use 3 more of these. You can use the mandolin to do this so they match. If you're using some of your shredded carrots in there instead, that's good. I always save the ends of the carrots for her little dog Tucker because he likes carrots. So
I just put the link on there. If you haven't signed up to get the recipes yet, then sign up for that and you will get the recipes Wednesday. So that'll give you a few days before we start cooking
again next
to go shopping.
Yep. And don't go shopping too quick because you don't want your stuff to go bad. And remember, we're making these things so they'll last at least 5 or 6 days. So you have your week covered with food, at least a few meals. And there should be leftovers. So leftovers are good. Right?
Dairy-free options on the stroganoff. We have a dairy-free family.
Absolutely. You just use coconut cream instead of sour cream. And it's quite good. Well, I'm going to put in the recipe a spice mix that I make from scratch that's from Nom Nom Paleo. It's really good, and I will suggest that we all have some of that on hand because that will help flavor the coconut cream more stroganoff-y, if that makes any sense. And everybody should be okay with mushrooms because this is a high mushroom stroganoff. So if you don't like mushrooms, I'll have to think about what I would suggest otherwise for that. So it's good stuff.
You can hide mushrooms.
You can hide mushrooms.
Just gotta chop them tiny.
Yeah. I actually use a food processor. Chop them up a little, put them in there with the ground meat, and he doesn't even know that they were in there. So, and I was like practicing and putting more and more and more, and he didn't realize it until he saw me cooking it one time. He's like, "There's mushrooms in there?" I was like, God. Yes. But by then he'd been eating it for a couple of years and he was okay with it. The only thing you can't do is serve that one later because the longer it sits with the mushroom, the longer the flavor intensifies. So he'll eat that the first or second day. Likewise, I have a client who doesn't like mushroom flavor. So I can hide that and feed it to her the first day. And then after that, it doesn't go well for her. So once in a while we sneak that in and she'll eat it for one day. But okay, now my Instapot says hot. Can you see that, Pam?
Yep.
This says hot. That means it's ready to saute. So I'm going to throw this in there. And this in there. Ooh, that smells good. Making ourselves hungry, huh?
I know, I'm hungry.
And where's my utensil? Just gonna stir this around a bit. Use a little bit of our salt. Even a pinch of our Italian seasoning. Maybe like a tablespoon. Got the oil in there.
Amy, they just are in your inbox. I just sent them over. They're at the bottom. You'll see shopping list and then 3 green squares, and you click on those and they're a PDF. Hello, Colleen. Colleen said hi, Amy. Hi. I'm behind the camera, but hi, Colleen. That's why it's Cooking with Pam and Amy. Yeah. Amy, mostly.
Mostly Amy.
Mostly Amy.
But Pam is here. We really are a dynamic duo that is not going to be separated in many times because we have more fun together. All right, so that's getting tenderized. Cook your veggies to the extent that you want them. Let's get some kale. Am I putting the kale in the broth, or are you saving it to add later?
Add later, that will get.
And do you want some shredded cabbage in there as well?
Sure.
Okay. To add later?
Add later, yep.
Okay. So, the kale, you want to kind of gather up into the strips. This is, right now, it's really small leaves, so it's a little bit harder. When you have nice big leaves, it's fun. But I kind of just stack a little bit there. Then I take my knife and I make nice little thin strips of it. So it's not tough that way. A lot of people, they do it in big squares, and then people don't like the kale because it's nasty tough. So, get that going. And again, I'm going to keep saying it, a sharp knife makes your life easier. So, we've got a nice mix like that. That will go well. Let me find your containers. All right. Another thing that if you want to start doing meal prepping in servings, if you don't have a lot of glass, you can get these kinds of containers on Amazon. Is that where you found them, Pam?
Yep.
And they kind of work amazing, but it depends on your preference for glass or not. So, these are good. I'm gonna stack this back up. Keep an eye on that tenderizing of that stuff. And keep going. And so now the Instapot is counting up to how long it's been sitting here. And this will sit and keep it at a temperature that won't go rotten. I think it's 2 or 4 hours, depending on the Instapot. Does yours turn off?
No, mine keeps warming.
It keeps warming, yeah. So you'll see it even has the light there on the button. They keep warm. So.
Sorry, I have to plug my phone in.
There you go.
Right here. Hi, Freya. Are you cooking with us or just joining to watch later?
I'm gonna step back in. Oh, you wanna look that?
She's sauteing my veggies in there. Oh, I'm getting really hungry. It's smelling really good.
All right. So we're chopping more kale. So I need to decide what we're going to eat on Saturday for lunch and for breakfast. And I'm open to suggestions. So if you're going to be there, if you're going to join us for our one-day girl retreat, we'd love for you to make a suggestion for what you'd like to eat, and I will make it.
For those of you that aren't coming, we still have 5 spots left. So you can sign up today and join us. If you don't know what we're talking about, we offer one-day retreats because we know not everybody can attend our week-long or weekend retreats. So we spoil you for a whole day.
Yeah?
We have an amazing speaker, Jennifer Blankel. You want to tell them about Jennifer?
Yeah, Jennifer is a relationship specialist, and she's going to come and talk to us about our very most important relationship, which is ourselves. And she has a really cool, it's not a personality test, but it's a test, kind of a basic needs test, and it helps you figure out what basic needs you need to have fulfilled on a daily basis. And then she's going to talk, when she's here with us, about how to fulfill those, whether it's from a significant other or also just from the interactions you have with people at the grocery store or the bank, or as you're driving and waving and smiling. Those kinds of things that can be fulfilled that way, and how to bring joy to your relationship with yourself. So she's amazing and dynamic and really fun to listen to and talk to. And you could even have your significant other, spouse, do the test and print the results and then bring them and have her help you figure out how to make both of those things work together. So we'd love to have you, and we'd love to have suggestions. Okay, smells really good. That's what you want. Good aroma. I put the Italian spices in there. Loving it. So I'm going to go ahead and just push off. On my teeny tiny one, the button for off is called cancel. On this one, it's actually cancel keep warm. So it just depends. It's going to keep cooking a little bit, which will make things nice and soft. You can even add a little bit of broth to it, just to get the flavors melding well. There we go. And cool it down. Make it stop cooking a little bit. We don't want it too soft. All right. So that'll be ready to go into our little containers. And then this is ready to go for when you want to add it to your soups.
Kale is actually better for you cooked.
Yeah.
So it helps break down all the enzymes and lots of nutrients in there.
I am going to also put a few leaves of basil, fresh basil, to meld into the sauce, or not the sauce, to the juices of the chicken soup. And then you'll want to cut some fresh every time you heat up a soup and add it to that as well. There's that. All right, and looks like, oh, we've gone down. So, here, let's play with our soups. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of basil in each one. Basil, another thing, if you have extra basil, it's another yummy herb to put in with your scrambles in the morning. All right, and let's do, what did I do with this? Sprinkle, I said half a teaspoon.
How's everybody doing?
Are we following? There we go. I'm going to do half a teaspoon of an Italian herb mix right into there. So if you're doing this in a big pot, put 2 tablespoons. If you're doing it for 6. If you're doing it for 4, it's 1 tablespoon. You're gonna only need 1 of these, I think. You can also add a little bit of water. We're putting enough herbs in there to be good. I always save the salt for later when you're actually eating it. We can do a little bit of pepper if you'd like. Some people really like salt and they want it sitting in there, so you can put the salt now. That's a personal preference. So when I'm preparing for other people, I always leave the salt that you would want to finish it with in the end. Because I already added some to the chicken, if you'll remember, and I added a little tiny bit to this. So don't want to get it too salted. I'm going to put a twist of pepper though. 1, 2. And here's our veggies. Let's see. 1/3 cup. How are we doing for time? Ooh,
40 minutes.
20. We're good. You guys, this is awesome. Got a half a cup of these veggies. Should be about enough each one. Anybody have any questions so far?
If you're not cooking with us today, we hope you replay this and
tag me or Pam, our names, if you have a question and this isn't the live part, that you're watching it, and so that we can see the question and answer it for you. Make sure you do that. Okay, let's open up the chicken.
Diane's not cooking. She just says it's fun watching you.
Thanks, Diane. Okay, I was going to wash these. Remember, because we used them to stir the chicken to begin with.
I get to watch her too, and it's fun, and I get to eat the food.
And smell it and eat it. We're doing great. If you guys are cooking with us, we're almost done. And you almost got 3 meals going. So, no piece of basil left behind. There we go. All right, so the chicken is hot. Let's pull it out and then turn the Instapot off. Got some good juices in there we can use in our chicken soup. And I need this for our barbecue chicken portions. And then I need another. I'm gonna use this for our enchilada making. Here we go. The chicken is easy. It should just by squeezing like this, it should come. Get all the mess out of the way. Mess. There. And I kind of go like that. So pull it out, smash it a little bit. Do this. Let me know how this is working. You should be able to just smash it like this and it just starts to fall apart. Is this working for everybody? This smash.
Diane's cooking tomorrow. She just got all the ingredients.
Cool.
Freya just got home from work, so she's cooking later.
Okay. What about Leah? Leah was cooking with us.
Yeah, Leah, how are you doing? Are you hanging in there? My chicken has 2 minutes left.
All
Perfect.
Right.
You're right on. Her Instapot must have come today early. Thank
Yay.
you, Amazon. She just got done chopping all the kale.
Good job. All right.
Next week we'll have all the veggies washed.
Yep.
And everything kind of prepped. So if you do that too, then that will work.
I'll put in the instructions how to kind of be a little bit more prepared. Although I don't know that many people could start before 4 o'clock. Would be my concern.
Yeah.
And goodness knows we weren't able to start before 4 o'clock, so that's kind of cheating if we say you can do it in 2 hours and then we're all prepared before, huh? So lots of good juices in here. It's good to see.
Diane's never seen anybody chop or shred chicken like that.
There you go. See how easy that is?
All right, Tiffany's gonna cook tomorrow with her daughter Sarah.
All right.
Please, 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 we're begging you to take pictures of your prep, of your meals, and
post your progress.
Post everything. And then, hey, maybe we should have a drawing.
Contest.
Will anybody that posts their meals on our group here, we will put you in a drawing and we will have some kind of kitchen gadget
There you go.
drawing every week. Yeah.
Something. We'll do something cool.
We'll maybe do some spices or...
Oh, yeah, we could do... Oh, I have some good spice mixes.
We can also do wooden spoons. I have a whole bunch of wooden spoons.
Offered. Okay.
I have little shopping
we'll have
bags.
A nice little thing. Whoops. See? Making a mess. Messes are good. Messes are good. That's the last piece.
Leah's asking how long she lets the vent go before opening.
It should come down completely.
Yeah.
It's best if you let it go till it comes down naturally. So, here I've got all of that. And this chicken, the juices are, you'll see it's a little bit dry. So you really want to put the juices back into it and they will soak up the majority of the juices. And whatever we don't use, we're going to put into our chicken soup. So, but you'll notice I start stirring it around, and as it starts to cool down, the chicken will soak back up. I needed a bigger container. And most of the pieces are good and shredded like this. So, the very first thing I'm going to do is portion out the soups, because that's a good small portion. Don't pick up the pan with your bare hand.
Kristen just joined us. Hello, Kristen. Freya, the chicken I bought is the organic chicken breast from Costco.
Yep.
And Amy used 2 of the packs.
No, 3.
You did use 3?
This is 3 packages, yeah.
So I'll probably have leftover chicken because
that's a lot.
And that's okay. If she makes extra stuff, I just freeze it and use it in another dish.
So I'm going to do just 2 ounces of chicken in each one of these things. Nice little dollop.
And then Leah, I don't know. She said, I don't know. It's not on.
What's not on?
I don't know.
The Instapot? Did it count down? And then she unplugged it when it was done?
I don't know. She didn't say.
I guess, okay, let me simplify that. Is the display showing anything?
She said no.
Okay. How it lost power? Did it cook?
Is it hot? Ashley just joined us. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. Okay.
Okay, so Leah, if your thing lost power, you're going to have to turn it back on.
Is it sealed? Is this button on the top, is it up or down?
Yeah, it beeped and I turned it off.
Okay, so is the button down or up?
As soon as you can take the lid off of, the steam is released.
Yeah. So, and you don't have to turn it off. When it beeps, you don't have to turn it off. You can just let it sit. It's just beeping to tell you that it's done, and then it will start counting up to how long it sat. And it can sit for 4 hours. It will keep it at the right temperature to not go bad. So, it's best if you let it be, and then you can watch it. So you haven't done anything that will hurt it. You just need to see if this pin is up or down and if you can open it.
She said there's no button on top. So maybe they have changed the design. Mine doesn't have a button either.
What brand is hers?
If you can twist the lid open, the steam is released.
Yes.
If you can't open it, it's not done yet. Or the steam is not released yet. It's a Mueller.
Huh. So see if you can open the lid. So
my soups are about done.
Okay. we are going to just fill these with broth now. I do want some of this juice because it's gonna be some juiciness. So I'm actually gonna wait. That's gonna set here. This we're gonna bring over here to the side for a moment. Now I'm gonna bring over the next project. Let's see. Get this cleaned up. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is the chicken for the enchiladas. And did you want me to make them half?
I want to try the vegan cheese, so maybe we'll do half regular and half.
Okay. So I'm going to rinse out this, and I'm going to saute again the onions and peppers to go into the meat. Do you want me to use some of your new spices from
Mexico? Yep.
Okay. And here's our cheeses. So that's going to go in there. That goes back there. And this is going to be a super simple layery one. Remind me where your this is.
Yeah, let it simmer, Leah. It'll give it another maybe 5-10 minutes. You don't want to mess with the vent.
Oh yeah, don't mess with the vent.
She messed with the vent and got a broth fountain.
Uh-oh, yep, sorry.
Hi, Andrea and Wendy.
What are these? That looks like jalapeno. Do you want jalapeno?
I did do one jalapeno.
That's 2 jalapenos.
2 jalapenos. But no seeds.
Okay. So, and the poblano.
That's it. Yeah. Anaheim.
And do you want one of these in the soup, or were you putting all of these in the enchilada?
Just put the green in the enchilada since we're doing a green sauce.
Okay. So,
here's a trick for
peppers. Find one of their little dents, swing it around like that, then pop it open, and pop out the thing. Clean. Sometimes dirt is extra in here, so that way you can make sure that it's clean. There you go. See how easy peasy that works? This is getting sizzling. Okay. So, Leah, I'm wondering on your display if it will count down. Did it count down once it started cooking? Did it count down the 35 minutes? Answer me that.
It's got to be hot because it was hot broth
that came out. Well, no, I realize. I'm just curious what kind of display hers will show. So, again, you find a rib to go on these, and then you can pull out the seeds really easy.
You just blew Freya's mind with that bell pepper. We love blowing minds here.
Make things easy. Easy peasy. All right, the jalapeno, ooh, that's poppy, is gonna be hotter. So
maybe just one.
Just one. Again, like that, break it open, and you should be able to use your thumb to just do that.
The seeds are what is hot.
Seeds are what's hot. So after you cut that, you want to make sure you wash your hands before you touch anything else.
Yeah, now we all know how to wash our hands really good.
Yeah, we should all be really good at that since we're practicing to avoid coronavirus.
Watch a video and it'll teach you how to wash your hands.
That's hot. One time I was making something with jalapeno for a client, and I was also making a turkey dinner for the client. And she happened to be my best friend, so she was there watching me. And I had chopped up a jalapeno, and then I went over to taste the mashed potatoes, and I put my finger in it, because again, she's my friend, and I tasted it, and I was like, and she's like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, jalapeno mashed potatoes is not a good thing. Wash your hands. Wash your hands, wash your hands.
Diane wants a chef hat. Okay, so maybe we can auction off a chef hat.
There we go.
You guys can have all your very own Amy in your kitchen hats. Leah says you can also seed the jalapeno with a spoon, then you won't have to touch it. Good idea.
There you go. That's very good. But still, I would suggest, once you do cut it up, that you wash your hands again, because it's going to be, I feel like just touching it. Sometimes the Anaheim peppers even. This will cut nice and fine. How are my onions doing?
I just wanted lots of veggies in mine this week.
You could also shred zucchini in almost anything. Like, it would go in this, it would go in the soup, and it's a good thing to hide. That's how I had stuff for my kids. To be eating good stuff. So, we've got some onion going, and I'm just going to start adding peppers as well.
Since we just got back from Mexico, maybe I'm just looking for hot stuff.
Spicy. You should get out some of your lentils chili. All right. Then again, with these peppers.
Leah wants to know how many Instapots should she own. Well, if you're like Amy, she has 4, but you probably don't need that many.
Probably not.
She's sauteing in the Instapot because it's right here and we're videotaping. Otherwise, you can just saute on the stove.
I like the Instapot. It's just, sometimes it's easier. And I like to keep things simple, and so I will kind of piggyback what I can cook in different pots. Like, if you can cook things on top of each other that aren't gonna mess with this flavoring, then you don't have to worry about washing 18 million different dishes. And when you're meal prepping, that's important, so that you don't have too much stuff going on. So this is the Anaheim
Freya
pepper.
says, how do you choose good peppers? Some jalapenos have not heat or no heat.
Smell them. It needs to smell. This one doesn't smell at all. The other one that I cut up smelled. As soon as I opened it, I could smell it.
Leah says it's counting up now.
Oh. Good.
Does that mean it's
Did she
cooking
plug it back
again?
in?
Yeah, you might want to hit cancel. You don't want it to cook again.
No, if it's counting up, it shouldn't be cooking. Only if it's counting
Down.
down.
Okay.
What other buttons did she have pressed? Did she press cancel? Is there a cancel button?
It turned it back to warm.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, so then it will now.
It should do just counting. It doesn't. Don't worry about the counting. It should just, the pin should eventually slow down in about. If it doesn't go in the next 5 minutes, then we might have her release it. Is there a place to release the steam manually?
Yeah, mine does. Mine can manually. I can.
Is yours the same brand?
No,
of
mine's
Mueller?
not a Mueller.
Here's a Power Pressure Cooker XL. Okay.
I can turn the little vent on the top and it will release it.
Yeah.
Just the vent. Can the vent twist?
Careful when you do that. Well, yeah, she did it already. It became soup, remember? Chop, chop, chop.
Hello, Mother.
Another thing you can do, if you didn't want to do all this chopping, is the food processor like Leah has. You can use the blades, or you can get a little Ninja chopper, or you can get the Boppy chopper, and do that. I used to have a few more chopping tools just because I found that to be easier.
That's enough. I'll put that in a salad.
Okay.
I think that's a lot of peppers.
Until I... Okay. We're going to cook that. I'm going to open this. I'm going to dump this.
When we were in Mexico, my nephew Ty made us enchiladas, and he broils, fire roasts all the peppers and makes his own sauce. And we tried to get the recipe out of him. He said, I don't have a recipe. I just do it.
Which we can do sometime. We can make some stuff from scratch. If you guys want to have a class, but that would take kind of an hour for one, like making sauce. I've made a red sauce that was really good from scratch, and we could definitely do the green sauce that Ty was talking about pretty easily. So... just more time consuming. Of course, right now, this is about meal prepping and making things work for you.
Smells so good. My mom likes your hat too.
Thank you.
Amy's gonna have to wear it every show now.
That's funny. I'm more official this way, huh? I'm going to add a little bit of cumin to it. I cook a lot with my nose. How do things smell? What flavors do you want to bring out? I put some of the green sauce in there. You could also put these vegetables in raw. Just depends on how cooked you want them.
Diane would love to do the sauces by scratch.
Okay, we can have a for scratch sauces thing. That would work. All right, now we're going to put together our enchilada lasagna, enchilada layers.
This is organic. They're uncooked. They're found in the refrigeration section.
I'm going to separate them out. They're super squished together.
They're vacuum packed.
Yeah. And they're soft because they're not cooked. So, let's see how this goes. So you want me to do one side of the cheese, the vegan cheese?
Yeah, I want to try this. I've never eaten it before. Okay. So we're going to do one of the Mexican blend, and then we're going to do one of the pepper jack.
And I had them get the queso fresco to go inside it as well. So
I did get queso fresco. I know.
I'm wondering if you want... Is it okay to put this in the meat mixture? That's what I was going to do with it. So it's kind of, you're just tasting
I'm kind of just tasting the pepper jack.
Okay.
Just so I can recommend it or not.
There you go. So I'm opening up the queso fresco into my... And this is going to be my mixing bowl for my meat. And I'm going to break it up like that.
We ate a lot of queso fresco in Mexico.
How's it really so good? So you could mix this in with the meat, or you could layer it. If you were wrapping them, you would probably definitely want to mix it in with the meat. Or just do a little thing, a dollop in each when you wrapped.
Are you warming the tortillas first? Nope.
Nope. I'm going to put some sauce in the bottom. And I'm going to take a tortilla and spread it out. In fact, I'm going to cut one in half so that I can do it like that. And look at this. Ta-da!
We went to Bucerias, Mexico, out of Puerto Vallarta on a women's retreat.
I'm going to turn off this now.
Leah was asking where we went.
Okay.
Yes, Mom, we are recording it, and you will be able to go back and watch it as often as you want.
All right. Putting all the veggies in.
So you can see both of us. I have to give it a little flip shot. See, I'm wearing an apron, so I haven't done much work in the kitchen, but I am an apron.
Wearing an apron. All right, I'm mixing the cheese in with the hot veggies. It's gonna be yummer. Makes it kind of creamy.
I'm having enchiladas for dinner tonight.
All right, and then I'm gonna add some chicken to it. This will be the biggest dish that you make because I think I had you guys do a 9x9 if you're only making a 4 serving, but if you're doing the 9x13, then
it's gonna probably be
6 to 8 servings.
8 servings.
Depending on the person's.
For me, it'll probably be a dozen servings.
Yeah. You can chunk up any extra pieces. I'm gonna do one more. That. It's gonna be good stuff. All right, is everybody with me on this? Got veggies and chicken. Does Leah have her chicken out yet?
Yeah, Leah, how's the chicken going? I don't know if my mom's still on here, but my kids, if they ever get to request what Grandma makes for them, it's enchiladas.
Good stuff.
That's her signature dish. She was the one that taught me the cheat way because she'd hate to roll them.
That works. I like the cheat way. Or you can just fold them over half. Like these would have to be heated up on a flat thing or your skillet, and then you just fold them. Like a lot of restaurants do the fold. I'm gonna crack them so we can kind of put these in here, this out of the way, and start layering. Are we good?
We're good.
Okay. I'm going to try to do kind of a thin layer here. And I'm going to do this chicken in 2 layers. So I'm doing about half the chicken first. Then I'm going to put another layer of tortillas and some cheese. Okay. There we go. And the sous chef's getting into the cheese.
I'm tasting the deliciously dairy-free pepper jack shredded cheese.
All right.
It's interesting.
Is it? So there's a layer of cheese. Is it? I'm going to taste too.
Taste it. It's got a different texture, so maybe it'll be different when it melts. It's got a little kick to it.
That's not bad.
My favorite cheese is Tillamook pepper jack, so.
Now, some sauce.
I'm not looking at comments here. Chicken out shredding. Yay! Hi, Barbara. Dairy-free cheese. I found it at Fred Meyer, which is Kroger's, Smith's, whatever you have in your area. It was in our health food section that we call our health food section. Healthier food section.
Hey
Look
guys,
how she
I'm
cuts
just
that.
cutting these up. Let's see, let's see. Just making layers. This is easier than lasagna. Okay? Kind of smash it in there, make sure it's juicy. Getting your hands dirty. It's the best way to go. I'm gonna put the rest of the chicken on.
A tip for Daya cheese is to use less.
Oh yeah? Okay. Well, some more of this.
You said 28 ounces, but they only come in 19 at Fred Meyer.
Oh yeah?
So you might have to use 1.5.
All right. A towel. Those are both off.
Can opener?
How's everybody doing? Are we still having fun?
Melody just joined us. Hello,
Hi,
Melody. Hopefully you'll come back and watch the rest of it. Again, a reminder, tag us if you have questions if you're cooking and watching this not live, and that way we can get notified that you have a question.
Okay. So less this. I think I'll maybe save the rest for the top. Maybe a little bit in here. And then the rest on top. Like that. Here.
Just a word on organic versus non-organic. Amy and I are pretty much 100% organic. Many years ago, I thought it was just a scam to charge more for food, but the healthier I got and the more I researched, that I switched to all organic. There are some things that you don't need to buy organic.
And we can post that later.
Yeah, and there's what is called the dirty clean list. But if what you're eating is exposed to any kind of chemical, then it should be organic, especially apples and lettuce and the things where you're eating the outside. Mm-hmm. And even if you want to get technical, even if they spray the dirt, it will eventually get into the plant. But there are some things that they don't even have to spray because bugs don't bother them. So we'll post that list there. But for the most part, everything I buy is organic. Yes, she did not roll the tortillas. It's more like a lasagna style. This is what we call a cheat. It's just a couple layers of tortillas. She stopped watching because she was busy cooking.
Good. Who was that?
Leah.
Oh.
So yes, just stack them. It's so much easier. You don't have to heat the tortillas, and it's just so much faster.
Yeah. This is the fast way. This isn't the gourmet way.
She broke them all up so you can put them in the pan.
Yeah. You break them like this so that you can put them around like that and they fit better, and then you can do one in the middle like that and that. Does that make sense? And then I only used one package. I only used
12?
9. I only had to use 9. So these are great. Then some of them are smaller, so it just depends. But I like to break them because you can't fit the rounds to the edge, so you fit this and then you fill in the middle. So here we have a half vegan cheese and half regular cheese enchilada.
There's our enchilada, and it's done.
Ta-da! So, should we get this in the oven?
Yeah, let's just stick it in the oven.
All right, I'll put it over here to go in the oven in a few minutes.
We've got about 6 more minutes, so we're just going to finish up putting everything together, basically.
That's perfect, because we are pretty much done. The last thing that we have is our leftover chicken from here. I'm going to rinse these because I've got enchilada on them.
I don't want jalapeno sauce in my Italian chili or my barbecue.
There you go. All right, so now with whatever chicken is left after you've done the soup portions and you've done the enchiladas, I'm going to drain off some of these juices to go into our soups because that's super yummy. Make sure these are all a little bit better smashed up. In fact, let's take out the portion we want for mixing in the barbecue.
Oh, that bowl's dirty. My husband was a bachelor for 2 weeks.
And we are seeing the consequences. So, this is about probably 8 to 10 servings of barbecue chicken for us ladies. But that's okay. This freezes really well in individual portions, and then you can make up the slaw anytime. Or you could actually freeze a couple of these, and then when the slaw in 2 weeks is still okay, the chicken would not have been okay, you pull out more of these as you eat the slaw. So, it's all good. We want a little bit of juice. There. And then we get our Kinder Organic Mild. They also have a spicy that's really good, but you can get this at Costco or Fred Meyer's. I think maybe even the grocery outlet. I've seen it there once in a while. They also have a teriyaki that's really good. And this one is gluten-free. So that's a good thing to watch out for some people. And I'm just gonna put maybe half a cup in there. It's good stuff. And even my vegan friends love having this on their slaw without the chicken. So mix that in. And voila.
Did you get some barbecue in your face?
I've been barbecued. Chicken's talking back. Wah! All right, guys, that's it. 2 hours, we did it. We've got barbecued pulled chicken and coleslaw. Remember, your dressing is 1 cup of mayonnaise and 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar or white wine vinegar and 1 tablespoon of monk fruit sweetener or coconut sugar. Makes the perfect slaw dressing. Then we have our chicken soups here. We sauteed the veggies. We've got the kale and we've got cabbage separate so that we can add those once we've heated up the soups. And don't forget to add some fresh basil on there as well. Another good thing is a drizzle of olive oil. That's a good fat for stuff. You can also put some fresh avocado in there. Any kind of veggies. Veggies are yummy. So we're gonna put some of this leftover juices into this and then top it off with there. Filling this up to the top with your juice is a pretty good estimate of a nice bowl of soup, and then you're throwing in your other veggies on top of that. And then we have the enchiladas, which we're gonna throw in the oven there, and they should cook at 350 for about 35 minutes or till the side is bubbly. That's what you wanna see. And reheating the soup is self-explanatory, and then I like to reheat the barbecue chicken a little bit to bring it up to room temperature, so you can throw that in a skillet and put your slaw on now. If you like stuff that's kind of sat in the slaw can be kind of runny and people like it that way, or if you want to keep your vegetables crunchy, you add the dressing later. And I think that's that. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that if you're watching it later, you can feel free to ask questions. And I'm really excited that I'm able to help people in their kitchens beyond my imagination, because I've always been in somebody else's kitchen, and that's 1 person a day. And so I'm really excited to be here and be doing this with you guys. Have a great evening and eat well.
And we hope this inspires you to cook.
Yes.
Oh, Diane just says I'm inspired. I'm signing off.
Yay!
I'm the sous chef behind the scenes. Bye. Bye.